Hello everybody, it's me, Riffraff Hornhelm, and I'm back again with another presentation from the Dwarven Vault, and today we have a monster review. Now today we're going to take a look at a creature, once again from the Fiend Folio, used with the old Advanced Dungeons & Dragons First Edition rules. And the creature we're going to talk about today is the GARBUG. We're going to talk about both the violet and the black GARBUG. And the GARBUG is as you can see, one weird-looking creature, that's for darn sure. So what exactly is a GARBUG? Well, a GARBUG is this large, it flies, but not very well, but they're 9 feet long, so this is no small critter. And of course, one is black and one is violet. One has a long proboscis, the other does not, but the one that does not has a pair of big pincers. And they say that they look like wasp-waisted lobsters, but not really. One thing that is common for both of them, other than the fact that they can fly and they're somewhat ungainly when they do so, is the fact that each of them have 6 tentacles around the mouth. Now, they're not really long, they're only about 2 feet long, so they have to get fairly close to use them. But each of those 6 tentacles do 0 damage, but cause the victim to make a save versus paralyzation. If paralyzed, obviously, it becomes very easy for it to attack you. In one case, the proboscis on the black GARBUG is what does the damage. On the other one, it's the pinchers. Neither of them do a ton of damage, but if you're paralyzed, and the tentacles apply to both creatures, if you're paralyzed as its victim, obviously it can kind of have its way with you, so to speak. Now, neither of these are super tough in armor class. They both have an armor class of 5. The black GARBUG is 2+2 hit dice, and the violet GARBUG is 3+1. So, not exactly the same, but awfully darn close when it comes to the hit dice that they have. They don't typically show up in real large numbers. And of course, since these are such large creatures, that's probably good. As a wandering, they would be 1 to 3. And of course, they're not intelligent. They're just animal intelligence, and they're neutral. So other than attacking you and, frightening the living crap out of you if you see something like this, they're not going to have any evil designs. There's no magic involved. Standard weapons will hit them. They have standard magical resistance. There's nothing really special about these, but they sure are frightful looking. And of course, for lower level creatures, this could be a very interesting encounter. The bark is definitely worse than the bite. The look makes you think that they're much more powerful than they actually are. But they would still make an interesting encounter for low-level creatures. Now, of course, us dwarves, what the heck is this thing? They're not something that we really run across. And, of course, having said that, I don't really know where you're going to run across these, at least according to the book. They don't talk about where they're from or what type of environment they live in. It just really describes the creatures and typically how they would attack. Okay. Apparently, because they can fly and they're big, hulking things, they don't live underground, because we don't run across them as dwarves. And if we did, I keep looking at that tail and saying, that would probably make a mighty tasty feast. Now, of course, in the gaming world, you never know. And we went out to the greater Hornhelm community and spoke to the DMs and players and said, okay, we're back in the Fiend Folio again, and we have the GARBUG, the black GARBUG and the violet GARBUG, and how would you rank these? And the general response I got from the DMs was like 2 to 2.5. They didn't really see this as being a very difficult creature. They didn't have a ton of hit points, and really they don't have a whole lot of, power to do much of anything to the party. Their damage per attack is relatively low. The paralyzation is an issue, but it also, in order to paralyze, it has to get in very close to you. It has to be within 2 feet. And that, of course, leaves it more vulnerable to multiple attacks. So, yeah, I couldn't really agree with that. 2.5 is probably where I would rank it as well. I did use these in a dungeon, and they didn't really slow anybody down. Let's put it that way. Now, in talking to the players out there, what were their thoughts on it? About the same, about a 2 on average. The highest I heard it ranked was a 3, and I really don't know why, but the players were generally in line with what the DMs were saying on that side. So, I guess it all works. Now, if you want to frighten the ever living heck out of your characters, show some of these 9-foot flying lobsters with tentacles around their mouths. That's got to be pretty freaking frightening. Certainly, at least the shock factor should be interesting to watch as a reaction amongst your adventuring party, especially if they're low level. Otherwise, not much of a real challenge. So that, my friends, is the GARBUG, both the black and violet GARBUG. We hope you found today's presentation to be interesting, amusing, entertaining, all that kind of good stuff. If you did, please be so kind as to leave us a like. Consider subscribing if you haven't. Drop us a line. Share with your friends. But most of all, come back and see us again real soon. We really appreciate your kind support. Take care, everyone, and remember, dwarves rock!